Countless people live while wanting to change some things about the various aspects of their lives. Losing weight, earning more money, traveling around the world, or spending more time with loved ones are all great resolutions to have. Sadly, some give up on their goals along the way and they start living a monotonous life. Recognizing the feeling of restlessness and lack of motivation is the first step to going out of the wearisome loop that we call life. Once you've acknowledged it, the next thing to do is determine the reason for feeling such way. A few common reasons being low confidence, burnout, and negative perspective. Keep watching to know further about these reasons and many more. Real quick, hit that like button and let's get back into it. How does being restless feel? Restlessness is the incessant desire to be on the move all times, the inability to calm one's mind or both. When you're feeling restless, you may also experience other things like anxiety, agitation, palpitations, hyperactivity, and insomnia. For some, being restless means being unmotivated and having difficulty focusing on or finishing tasks. Others feel nervous or anxious without knowing the reason. Not to scare you or anything, but it pays to know that restlessness is a type of neurosis when looking from the standpoint of clinical psychology. Neurosis is defined as an excessive and irrational worry or fixation. And as we all know, it's a symptom of mental illness. Neurosis can lead to despair and a sense of helplessness. Keeping those in mind, let's talk in detail about the 10 common causes of restlessness and feeling unmotivated. 10 reasons behind feeling restless and unmotivated. Number 1, you have poor physical health. One possible root can be due to your physical health, like a vitamin deficiency or an unbalanced or poor diet. After all, the food you eat largely affects your body. Perhaps you're eating a lot of unhealthy foods. Eating too much white flour or sugar is one of the leading causes of fatigue, restlessness, sluggishness, and lack of motivation. The same is true with processed meat products, so aim to have a healthy diet. The key here is to go for healthier alternatives. Instead of sugary morning cereals, have eggs or Greek yogurt maybe. Start with a small change, then work your way up to an overall healthier diet. Number 2, you lack confidence. Sometimes you go through things that make you stop believing in yourself, leading to feeling restless. And you aren't alone in this. Everyone's experienced the point in their lives of believing they aren't good enough. A great way to fix this is to think of something that gives you the most confidence. It could be as simple as your ability to hike or your talent for singing. Would it be fair to say you haven't always had confidence in your singing skills? What changed then? What changed is the fact that you've performed in front of an audience many times over the years. The same is the case with your confidence in your hiking ability. Are you familiar with inner battles? Next up is how the little voices in your head are preventing you from being freed from feeling restless and unmotivated. Number 3, you are fighting an inner battle. We all have 2 little voices in our heads, the inner self and the inner critic. Your inner self is the voice of your confidence, imagination, and sense of purpose. This allowed you to do things your way when you were young. If you wanted to play, you did, or when you wanted to sleep, you slept. But as you grow up, you start believing that marching to the beat of your own drum is considered selfish or irresponsible. It's where your inner critic enters the scene and tells you that playing safe is the best option. Consequently, you start feeling restless because you suppressed your own desires just to please others. This internal battle is going to drain you, hence you must be true to yourself most of, if not all the time. Number 4, you have a negative outlook on life. All of us react to failure in different ways, but the most common reaction shared by a great number of people is to reevaluate their life. Failure prompts restlessness in many, and they find it hard to remain calm and focused on what matters. You'd be asking yourself, where did I go wrong? Which then produces a negative answer. Negative perspectives are hard to overcome. In fact, it may show that you could have improved something. It's why so many people are always in the analysis stage of changing their life. Before they take action, they realize how something can be done better, thus they end up not doing anything. Number 5, you are having burnout. Burnout is total exhaustion that attacks a person in 3 ways at once: emotionally, physically, and mentally. It's typically the consequence of trying to do too much too quickly, and too much stress won't do us any good. In particular, stress decreases one's efficiency and willpower. Being restless and unmotivated is not a foreign feeling. It comes from the way we chase our dreams. Moreover, considering the fast-paced world that we live in today, every field is highly competitive. Instead of catching up to other people's timelines, create your own for your goals and be realistic about it. Remember, it takes time to build a life-changing habit. Depending on others can be good, but when it becomes too much, it can kill your creativity. More about this here. Number 6, you depend too much on others. The good thing about working with others is that it gives you the motivation to push through. That said, it becomes a problem when you rely too much on others. The more you depend on them, the more you give away control of parts of your life. It's like having group projects in school. You don't like procrastinating, so you get frustrated with a partner who doesn't look at the task until a week before the deadline. To stop feeling restless and avoid others from sucking out your motivation, work with people who have the same core values as you. Number 7, you do not have a clear goal. It's hard to stay motivated when you don't have a clear goal in the first place. Once you've got a goal in mind, then you could easily imagine yourself taking the necessary steps to achieve it. Moreover, you'll be more motivated to work towards it. But if there's no clear target, it becomes harder to stay on track and push yourself. So establish a clear goal to keep your motivation strong and see the progress you're making towards that goal. To boost your chances of success, make sure that your goals are small and realistic, but also challenging. Another reason you're feeling restless and unmotivated is you may be working towards several goals simultaneously. Here's why this is a problem. Number 8, you are pursuing so many things at once. You can achieve as many things as you want, no one's stopping you. But you must not pursue all things at once. Instead, accomplish them one by one, or else you could end up feeling unmotivated and restless. And if this happens, there's a greater margin for failure, which in turn will only make you feel frustrated. Set your goals wisely and avoid multitasking. Doing things one at a time gives you much greater efficiency than doing all things at once, ultimately giving you more chances of success. Number 9, you are taking on everything by yourself. It's good to be dependent, but it isn't when you're scheduling yourself. It's why many successful people have coaches and mentors. When you see things from a different point of view, especially from an expert at completing the same goals you set for yourself, it greatly helps you. Also, too often when you isolate yourself, it can lead to skewed and biased perceptions. And sometimes the only missing factor to finish your goal is a helping hand. Don't shoulder all the burden. You won't just feel restless and overwhelmed, your results may also suffer. Number 10, you have a great fear of failure. You shouldn't be fearing failure. Instead, you should be scared of the absence of progress, which is two different things, by the way. And when you fear a certain outcome, that fear can stop you from making progress. What you must do is look beyond the uncertainties and keep on moving. Learn to face your fears and live to the fullest so you can be truly happy and successful in life. Now that you've figured out the possible reasons for being restless and unmotivated, then it's time you learn how to cope with such feelings. Click this video to know what to do.